Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ifat Aslam. A little over 26 years ago, I mustered all my courage to approach this beautiful lady and ask her a very important question. Will you marry me? And the answer was yes, which was my moment of truth, because all that I have worked for resulted in this answer that changed my life forever to be what I am today. It could have gone either way. It could have been a no. And I wonder what that moment of truth would have been. Where would I be today? Would I be better off or would I be worse off? And what about her? What would her moment of truth be if she had said no? So we encounter these moments of truth in our life, which defines our success, sometimes our failures that also turn into success. They are learning opportunities. For example, yesterday, Priscilla, the person who I asked that question and said yes, was giving a session on evaluation, and she used one of my speech called the 2 seconds, where I was encountered with this situation where my father was drowning, and I had this revelation or moment of truth where I could somehow grab a stick and reach out to him and save him. So that was my moment of truth that defined whether I grew out to be who I am today or an orphan child without a father. Or, for example, when one day I went to my head office because I knew they were handing out bonuses, and I thought, my moment of truth, will I get a good bonus? And when I opened the envelope, I remember immediately calling Priscilla and saying, there must be something wrong. They can't give me this much money. I am not worth that much money. What will I do with so much money? In all of these situations, at least most of the situations, we have control over our moments of truth because we know what is expected of us. And when finally the moment comes, did we succeed or did we fail, depends upon how we looked at all of the criteria that we were asked to perform. I would like two of you all to share your moments of truth, preferably the new members. What about Ifat?
When I first heard about the moments of truth, baffled and wondering, what is this? And I was assuming that it might be that there would be some room or a meeting where we have to confess our sins. So it was the first thing in my mind when I heard this. So this is the moment of truth when I came to know, no, it is not that. Thank you.
So, as a Toastmaster club, we do have our moments of truth where we try to define, at least understand what a club should provide for its members, and then measure that with what is the reality. Are we providing to the members what is expected when a member joins a Toastmaster club? Moments of Truth is part of the Successful Club series. There are multiple modules in this program that we should have during our calendar year. It is not just the moment of truth, but there are very interesting modules. One of them is the evaluation module, by the way. They form part of a Successful Club series. Is an episode where a person comes in contact with any aspect of Toastmasters experience and forms an impression of a club's quality and service. And generally, this assessment is done by the club members. We will do it today. I hope more join by the time we start the exercise. But for now, we will try to understand what exactly is expected in a Toastmaster club. So there are 6 pillars of a Toastmaster club experience. The first experience, the first impression that a member gets when he joins the club, what kind of orientation takes place for that member, Whether there is fellowship, variety, and constant communication among the members. How is the planning of the meetings and special events? The membership strength. Is the club strong? Does it have enough members to create that kind of experience? And finally, achievement recognition. When a member achieves his or her goals, how does the club celebrate it? So all of these 6 pillars are expected to be performed in a club so that a member gets the 360-degree experience that is expected of his membership. Okay, so what about the first impression? What is expected of the first impressions? Guests, when they come to your meeting, do you greet them? And do you introduce them to your club officers and members? Do keep in mind that many of these KPIs or parameters were defined in a traditional Toastmaster club, which meets in person. So after the meeting, for example, the guest would be introduced to everyone in the meeting room. Who are they? What is their role? And so forth, right? So this is what is expected. Do we have a guest book? And do we provide name tags to all those who are in the meeting room so that when a guest, for example, wants to speak to you, they don't have to remember the name. They just look at the tag. Hi, Priscilla, I'm so-and-so, right? If the guest has already told you beforehand that he or she will be coming to this meeting, you are expected to create name tags and keep them ready so that we can refer to them by their real name rather than, oh, who is this person? I forgot. Is the meeting room professionally arranged? Everything is set properly by the sergeant at arms? All the logistics are in place? Is the location convenient for people to attend? Are the guests invited to address the club when they join? They should be given an opportunity to either say something at the beginning or at the end or during the table topics. And at the end of the day, it's very important that we send them with enough information to say, hey, you're welcome to come to this club again, and we are welcome to join this club. What happens if the member joins? What do we do? This is the orientation part. Do we do a formal induction, including the presentation of the pin? Okay, you have to give a pin once the member joins. Do you assign a mentor to that new member so that they transition themselves to become confident public speakers? Do you discuss with these new members the program? What are they going to get out of it? And when they finish the program, what kind of recognition they will get? For example, in pathways, if you finish level 1, how are you going to recognize your members? Do you discuss them upfront? Because that recognition will motivate the members to achieve it. If you tell them, if you finish level 1 within so and so, our club will recognize you in this way. Do we assess their learning needs? Do we tell them, okay, tell me what are you here for? And then guide them to select, for example, in pathways, the right program. Of course, this is related to people who would have some kind of disability, blind, for example, or they are unable to, all kinds of disabilities. Do we assess them and then make sure that they will get the right benefit if they join a club? How do we take care of them if they can't hear properly, they can't see properly? We need to have the right tools and things in place to make sure they still get benefit from Toastmasters. Do we assign speaking roles to these members and make sure that they are involved in all club activities? Keep them informed. So that's the member orientation. Coming to fellowship, variety, and communication. Guests are greeted warmly. We create enjoyable educational meetings. Do we regularly schedule social events like picnics or something like even today maybe could be considered a social event? Do we encourage our members to participate in area, district, and international events like club officers training, speech contests, and so forth? Do we have inter-club events? Do we coordinate with other club events, maybe to have joint meetings or some kind of educational sessions and so forth? Do we have a club newsletter or a website that is updated regularly? Of course, today we can update this statement itself by saying social media like Facebook or LinkedIn and so forth, right? Because when this was written, there was no social media, by the way. What about program planning? Agenda, is it publicized in advance? Are members prepared to carry out all the assignments? All projects are from the Pathways program. Very important. Meetings begin and end on time. That's the planning part of it. Creative table topics and activities in each meeting. And positive and helpful evaluations. Do we do that? So these are the things that are expected of us. As far as membership strength is concerned, do we have 20 club members or more? Because that's the minimum that we should strive for. Are the members retained through proper planning to make sure that they don't leave? Promotion in clubs, organization, or community. Club programs are varied and exciting. Today's program maybe is exciting. It's not the normal meeting. Toastmasters sponsoring new members are recognized. Sometimes we forget that, by the way. When somebody brings a new member, we must assign that person as a sponsor. Because if you sponsor 5 members, by the way, you get a special pin directly from Toastmasters. So when we fill in the membership application, we must make sure that we select the right sponsor who brought in that member. And we have regular membership building programs. What are regular membership building programs? It could be, for example, a speechcraft or an open house that will sort of bring in more guests, and more guests means more prospects, and more prospects means more conversions to members. Finally, achievement recognition. How do we recognize our members? The applications are immediately submitted to World Headquarters. For example, once you complete level 1, do we submit it so that the member becomes level 1 in his profile? Do we display a progress chart, and do we maintain it regularly? Membership achievement recognized with a ceremony once they complete, let's say, level 1 or level 2. What kind of ceremony are we having? When clubs, districts, and international leaders come to our meeting, do we recognize them? Do we acknowledge them? And the club and members' achievement, are they publicized? Do you post them somewhere so that they feel a sense of achievement? And the DCP, the Distinguished Club Program, is that used for your planning of your members' needs and recognition? First impressions, membership orientation, fellowship, variety and communication, program planning and meeting organization, membership strength and achievement recognition. These are the 6 pillars. Now we need to assess ourselves as members. Where do we stand? Because remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create breakout rooms, and I think I can do 3 breakout rooms. And in each breakout room, I will make sure there is a combination of club officers and members. Okay, so I have created 3 groups. Now in each group, I will post a link, and this is something I have created, by the way, Tech for Toastmasters. So we have a form called Moments of Truth, but I sat down and converted into a Google form because it's much easier to fill rather than using pen and paper, especially in an online environment. So this Moments of Truth Google form mimics or replicates the standard Moments of Truth form that you will get in the Toastmasters, on the Toastmasters website. And what does this have? The same things that I discussed. So the first section is about the guests. The second section is the membership orientation. The third section is fellowship, variety, and communication. The fourth section, planning. Fifth section, membership strength, and sixth section is achievement recognition. What I'm expecting is I will share the link to this survey in the chat. Now, before I post the link in the chat, I'll give you around 15 minutes in the breakout room. And what is expected is as follows. The member will become the leader, not the XCOM. The XCOM is there only to guide them, right? So the member has to open the link, share the screen, and start filling up all the sections. In each room there are 3. So what you do is the non XCOM officer, please consider yourself as a leader. Open the link, share the screen, and together you'll complete it within 10 minutes. Then have a small discussion about how you will present it to the whole club, right? Why you gave the score, why you think that it was high or low, give some justification. You won't be able to go through the whole form, but each one will be given 2 to 3 minutes to present their final findings. Open the screen from this link, keep it ready so that when you go to the breakout room, all you have to do is you have to share the screen. It's a good exercise, don't you agree? When we used to do this in the physical room,
introspection.
When we used to do this in the physical room, the room used to be buzzing because everyone is throwing ideas. And essentially, what you come to realize is that you have your action plan already in front of you. Because if you give yourself a score of 5, it means you strongly believe that you are doing that, and which means you should continue doing it. If you give yourself a score anything other than 5, it means that is where you need to start working on. Look at the items that are 1. That means you're not doing it. That's your first action point. Look at 2, look at 3, right? So let us have a look at what everyone has shared. Let me share my screen. We have 4 responses, and I think Achini must have probably submitted separately. I'm not very sure, but we have 4 responses. One from Dinesh, Dev, Achini. Then there's a separate response from Achini and Madhushika, Rashid, and Namiti, and Team Ifat Aslam. I love that. And as you can see, if you scroll down, you get, for example, a varied response. Some have said 5, but some don't agree that you greet guests warmly. When it comes to guest book, I think this is your action point, where you'll see that people have scored 1. That means you don't do it. Some say maybe sometimes, and there is one who says, yeah, we do it. I would love to have those name tags, by the way. Professionally arranged meeting room, great. Everyone agrees that it is absolutely brilliant. When it comes to convenient meeting location, one team thinks no, but the others think it's okay. When it comes to guest invited to address the club, some think maybe, some think, most think yes. So I'm going to, of course, share these results later on, but you can see now there is a lot of points on the right hand side, which means we need to continue doing it. But then you see these things like, are members involved in club activities? You need to introspect and think, because some are thinking they are, but some are not. And this is your point of action. Ask members again, what can we do more to involve you all? So this is the responses, looks positive. And of course, we can also look at the responses from individual team members, and you will get the responses like this. Okay, I will share the result. But what I'm more interested in is to understand from your perspective on this. And I said that in each team, I wanted preferably a member to present the findings. What did you all discuss? What do you all think we can improve upon? So let me first of all look at the first team, Namiti, Madhushika, Rashid. Rashid or Madhushika, would you all like to present the discussions that you all had?
Based on our discussed observation for the guest, how we treat. So based on that one, we put the mark for X like me, like who's old member. We need to have one mentor.
Though you all looked at all of the points, you even came up with a additional suggestion that even older members do need mentoring. So that is the point for all of us to take into consideration. All right, great. Room 2, Achini, Dev, and Dinesh. Achini or Dev, would you like to present your discussions?
Thank you for the opportunity, Toastmaster Kajitan, and wonderful program. So almost, I would say mostly we have scored 5 out of 5. given that everything was going on perfect and it's been exemplary. But Toastmaster Dinesh has been super honest and sometimes agreed that, okay, we are not, going 5, maybe 4, maybe 3, likewise. And what we highlighted was I would just go on with the things to improve. The social events and inter-club meetings, which are actually, I think, mostly in the secondary kind of phase, because I think in terms of the basics, we cover them superbly. I personally feel it, the warmth and everything. So these secondary things like maybe the name tags, progress charts, and these things, additional things, I feel it, kind of additional. So apart from that, I think we are covering most of the bases, not just covering, we are excelling, I think, as a club. So that's the round of what we actually discussed.
Thank you for sharing that. And as you said, yeah, these are secondary, but these are the ones that set you apart from the other clubs. That this extra flourish, the progress chart or social activities, that extra mile that you go keeps your members engaged, keeps them coming back for more meetings because they are feeling engaged. They know that the club is caring for them and they are recognized for the efforts that they put in. And besides getting the self empowerment of being part of this, they know that they're contributing to the club also, to its success. Great. Ifat and Jamaluddin. Ifat, do you want to go since you are a new member? We'd like to hear from you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. It was, very warm and open discussion throughout. I really enjoyed it. Thanks to you for making that form, and congratulations. Among so many other things, we discuss about providing name tags to inline guest, in-person guest, and also one more thing was to how we can make our meetings more enjoyable and filled with fun. These were the two. Thank you.
So now we have a blueprint, something to go from by looking at the data that has been presented, have more discussions like this, and then more importantly, repeat this exercise after 6 months and see whether we have actioned the items that we said we will action. It's always good to identify areas of improvement, but you must have an action plan to work on those areas of improvement so that you can see the progress that you have made in those areas. And of course, one very important thing is when we look at the areas of improvement, we should not ignore what we are doing good already. If there are some things that we are doing good, make sure that we continue doing them. So that was Kuwait Challenges Moments of Truth. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to run this exercise. And as I said, this work that I did to make this online, I think it helped, especially in this session. Otherwise, tabulating through a PDF file would have been a little more difficult, because now when you submit the results, automatically we can tabulate them, see where we are, create the action plan. And I'm sure that our XCOM team will take all the suggestions that have been placed in that form very diligently and work towards making this club what it always aspires to be, one of the best in the world.